Hey, everybody, this is Ramon Ray, founder of Smart Hustle Media at smarthustle.com. Thanks for joining me. What I know is going to be, as always, is I try to do an exciting podcast, a discussion all about how we can help your small business grow. If you're hearing the sound of my voice or watching this video, please do a like, do an uptick, do a share, do a comment, do something. If you don't like what you're hearing, quietly tell me. Don't tell everybody. Say it quietly. But I am so glad you're here and you can hear content like this on a regular basis, always at smarthustle.com. I have Stone DeSouza, who's here with us today. He's with Sage, and he heads their outreach, their help. They're serving small and medium-sized businesses. Stone, welcome. Thanks for being here. Glad you spent the time with us today.
Glad to be here, Raymond.
Awesome. So, Stone, listen, you just Sage finished a big conference, kind of your annual conference. I'm assuming it probably would have been with hundreds or thousands of people at some location, but like everybody else, it was online and virtual. So tell us a bit about that, what you experienced, especially as relevance for smaller businesses. But before you do that, feel free to step back for 1 or 2 minutes and just introduce us to yourself, your role, what you're up to, what you're seeing, how you're doing. Take a minute or two and tell us who Stone is.
Sure. So Stone D'Souza, I'm the leader of the small business segment for Sage in the US, and I joined Sage 3 years ago. I was leading the accountant channel for 2 years, and then I had the opportunity to now build the segment and then drive the segment to service small businesses in the US. And it's a real privilege for me to do that because we know that small businesses are the backbone of the economy of this country. And when you have to think about the way they manage their operations, the way they want to stay afloat, and in this new environment, how solutions that we build can really help them address their business needs, it's an exciting journey. It's also all about experimenting and learning from our customers and design experiences that are going to help them increase the value of the service and products that they are building or delivering.
I like that. From my understanding, and I do want to get to the event, but I think I've known the name Sage for many years. And I think one of the things that you all do, and correct me if I'm wrong, this conversation can be part exploratory for some who know the Sage name, maybe weren't sure, whatever. But I guess I know there was a lot of buzz from Sage many years ago. From my perspective, changed a bit, but maybe that's why you're here the past 3 years to help bring that back to life. And I think
Exactly.
Sage has several verticals, but spend a few minutes, feel free to educate us. I know one of the big things you do is construction, I think, and other
Exactly.
verticals. Unpack a bit for us what Sage has to offer for small businesses. You have an accounting channel, you have some verticals. Talk about that a bit.
Absolutely. So if you step back and look at the way we're approaching the market for small businesses in the US, we have three channels. The first channel is the accountant channel, which is how we are servicing accountants and also helping accountants help small business owners drive their businesses. We have our direct channel, which addresses directly small business owners with our customer success team, helping them really be successful. And then we have the retail side that is, the channel we use to sell our product through retail. As on top of that, the strategy that we have is a platform strategy. How can we help small businesses leverage the network of accountants that we have so we can match them so they can all use our solution in a very efficient way to increase the value of the service and experience they're building. So the accountant channel is very important to us. If you look at accountants, how they help small businesses in managing their books, how they help them file their taxes, how they help them with the insights, and how our products can help them do that. That's the number one strategy that we have. So if you look at the product that we sell, we have desktop products, we have cloud connected products, we have cloud native products. And stepping back and looking at our journey, as you mentioned, Sage was and has always been a leader and an advocate for small businesses across the world. We are a global company and we have a very deep, presence in the US. And what we want to do is continue to grow by building new products. So if you look at what we're doing now, we have cloud native solutions, accounting solutions, we have HR management solutions. We also have data entry solutions to help accountants and small businesses be very efficient in the way they're managing their practices and their businesses. On the other hand, what we also focus on is how can we offer a great digital experience to small businesses? Think about COVID right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of small business owners are working from home. So how can we help them digitally? So we have solutions that can help them access their accounting solution from a distance and remotely, so they don't have to get out of their house. And then we also have the platform that helps the accountant and the small business work remotely. So they can collaborate in the system live at the same time and then have conversations in a Zoom conversation, for example. So all of that digital environment that we're building to make sure that it's not only about the product, but also the experience that's going to help them collaborate and deliver value is what we're focusing on. So historically, great presence in the US, but now we're accelerating the cloud and delivering more and more cloud-produced products.
I'm going to call it the Stone acceleration. You probably won't, like Ramon, don't say that. My other executives will hear that, and they'll move me somewhere else, but I'll call it the Stone solution. But Stone, let's talk a bit about and I don't want to, it may not be fair to put you or who you represent in a box, but there's very, very tiny small businesses. I personally think there's a number of solutions they can use, which are on the market, competitive solutions, which, are what it are. There's the billion-dollar brands, which again, as you go up there's a number of billion-dollar brand solutions, which I'm sure you can help as well. But can you talk to, are there any one or two segments, if you were like in a room and had to say, that bucket right there, that's who we can perfectly serve. And I'm not saying you can't serve others, because I want to be fair to you as you answer, but is there any, as we're looking at what small business means, because you have SCORE, which helps those who are, Mary Jane at yahoo.com. I don't know, maybe they're too small for Sage, maybe not. Then you have those that are high growth. Then you have a manufacturing company with 200 employees. So talk a bit, who is that small business owner that Sage is looking for?
That's a great question. That person is what we call the me at Sage. So who is that me? Okay. And if you step back, you can focus on, let's start with verticals. You can focus on a few verticals that we're really, really servicing so well. Construction, for example, manufacturing, or professional services. These are the top verticals where we have the vast majority of our customers. So that's number one. Number two, the great thing about Sage is what we call the scale-up approach, because we are one of the rare companies in the world that can service a very small business, a startup that is starting with a product that is called Sage Business Cloud Accounting, which is very, very nimble, can help you start your business, and you can go from there to outgrow Sage Business Cloud Accounting and get into the Intacct world, which is more kind of a medium-sized company solution, which is also cloud native. And then you can get even larger with, so cloud connected solution like, Sage 300, Sage 100, Sage X3. So from a scale-up standpoint, you can go to your entire life cycle using Sage products. And the good news about that is when you have an accountant who starts with you and that we make aware of our entire portfolio, at the end of the day, as soon as you get into a phase where you need a more robust product, you're getting into a level of complexity that is higher. Your accountant is telling you, the number of employees that you have now require more robust solution. Then you can move to another Sage solution. And then now I want to go to cloud native, or I want to be able to do a business process outsourcing and then outsource all my entire production, accounting production to a firm. You can use Intacct, for example. So all those scenarios are helping us understand how we can build that life cycle and the experience throughout the entire life cycle to always deliver best experience. So we put ourselves into the shoes of the customer. We work through their experience on a day-to-day basis. We meet with them. Now that with Garvey, we're having those virtual conferences where we're having conversations. We're observing them using the product to see where they have magic moments using the product or tragic moments using the product. We come back to the lab. We refine the product, refine the experience we put in front of them. So these are the verticals we're focusing on. And then we have verticals that we want to focus on in the future. And if you think about those new entrepreneurs who are born in the cloud, live in the cloud, sleep in the cloud, they don't want to hear about cloud connected. They don't want to hear about desktop. What they want is give me an ecosystem where I can start with your product. And if I want a time tracking application, I can connect it to the product. Or if I want a receipt capture solution, I can connect it. So that's the ecosystem we're building around Sage Business Cloud Accounting, which is going to help a small business start with our accounting solution. And as they continue to grow and it's different applications to really improve the way they're managing their business, then we have in the ecosystem that's going to be available for them. So vertical approach and ecosystem approach at the same time.
No, for sure. I love the cloud. I like ecosystem for sure. Listen, how do I say this? I was going to tell you a story, but I won't. Well, I'll tell you this. I was going to tell you one story. I'll tell you a different story. But I was audited by the IRS some years ago. It was a horrific experience, and that's when I came to know my accountant. So the only experience I have with an accountant is IRS and my accountant. So it's kind of like in my mind, like the child that a dog barked at them in the dentist office or something. Yeah. All the associates. So what I'm trying to say, Stone, is can you talk to talk first to accountants, because you had that
Mhm.
experience with them. For accountants building their practices, if you're able, if you can,
Mhm.
just spend a few minutes talking to them. What do you want to tell them? Why are they so important? Maybe to the newer accountant. Is that a fair question? Anything you can say?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So if you think about accountants, you have different type of accountants, and what you want is be able to support each accountants in the way they're servicing their customers. You have accountants who just want to take over completely and tell their customer, don't worry about anything. I'll take care of everything and I'll do it on your behalf. And you have accountants who want to focus only on where they add value and be strategic advisors and say, look, I'm going to put together a platform for you so you can have access to the product. You can enter your own data into the product, and then you're going to take care of managing your day-to-day. And at the end of the month, I'm just going to come and just look at how you're doing, make sure that you're on track or not, look at your cash flow, give you my advices, and then take care of your taxes and take care of the things that are really technical that you cannot do. So the beauty of our solutions is that it adapts to all of those profiles. And on top of that, you have accountants now who are saying, I want to scale back. I've been doing taxes and I've been doing accounting and then bookkeeping. Now, today, what I want to focus on is only CPA work, and I don't want to do bookkeeping anymore. So depending on their customers' need, which is what we always tell accountants, which is number one, start with your customer and their needs. Number two, we can sit down and discuss how our solutions can be designed to your needs. And number three, we have a program that is called the Cloud Advisory Service Program that helps us train them and bring them into a more, I'd say, business world. Accountants are subject matter experts, and they take pride in really kind of delivering that expertise to their clients. So they rely on that expertise, and the change that we're seeing now with those new accountants who are coming in the market that have been to business schools, they want to become more of a strategic advisor and be entrepreneurs at the same time that they are subject matter experts. What we're doing is we're helping those firms who want to go to that transition to leverage that program. So to that program, you're going to get support from consultants. You're going to be able to analyze your own practice and identify opportunities to grow. What about marketing? We all know that accountants are not great marketers, but they need to go and find customers. So how are you going to build your website? How are you going
And accountants are small business owners, too many of them. So that's why we think of them from my perspective just as numbers, but they have to get customers and hire people and fire people and all that too.
Exactly. Advertise, position yourself, go and find new customers and also retain customers. So what type of service and consulting approach we can give them to really help them grow, that's what that program is about. So not only are we delivering products and product experiences, but also having a programmatic approach to help those accountants who want to go to that transition to deliver a better experience to their clients. And ultimately, the good news is the small business owner is always going to benefit from that, because they're going to get the insights that the accountant is identifying by using the data to help them make the right decision at the right time to manage their cash flow and invest in their company so they can continue to grow their small business as well.
Yeah, and thank you, Stone. The reason I asked the question, because you've mentioned consultants a few times in our conversation, and I was thinking there probably are different, and you've already answered, but different types of consultants, because I have a very small business, so it's different maybe how I use mine. But the point is that I'm guessing today's consultants, what I'm hearing you say, correct me if I'm wrong, may have to have a technology side. They may have to have some sort of analytic or side. They may have to have the bookkeeping. That's our grandfathers. The traditional once a year to file your taxes, that's also maybe an honor, our grandfathers. But I'm hearing you say other things: cloud, technology, scaling. This is a more modern maybe accounting than even maybe I was aware of, and maybe I'm just behind the trend. But am I saying what I think you're also saying?
You are spot on, Raymond.
Okay.
That's exactly what's happening in the market. The new dynamic that we're seeing is really helping those who want to accelerate in the cloud and become cloud innovators and 100% cloud practices. They exist. I can give you a clear example. We have members right now of our network who don't even live here anymore. They don't live in the US. They go for 6 months. They are in the Caribbean,
Right. They can take me and you.
Exactly. And then, be on the island and work from there, and then come back to the US and spend 6 months here, because everything is digital.
Yeah.
And they use, conference calls to chat with their clients, and they advise them by using the data. They collaborate online, and everybody's fine with that. So with that new way of working, and now with machine learning and artificial intelligence, we're getting to a place where the solutions that we deliver are going to kind of manage the repeatable operations. So we make accounting invisible, and then the accounting can now focus on delivering the insights and the strategic advice. So moving from accounting to a consultant, and moving from a subject matter expert to an advisor is what the trend is. And we're going to see the market going in that direction and accelerate.
I love it. And my final question, Stone, I feel I could ask you hundreds of questions and you and I could talk for a long time, but feel free to mention, if I didn't ask you something, feel free to add it, no problem. But my final thought is, can you talk to small businesses now? Sage as a company has been around for a long time. You've been in this role for a few years now, and I'm assuming you're probably an experienced business person in your own right. What are you saying, as you look at your metaphorical dashboard of thousands of customers and all this, what makes the best small business? Or Stone, what are some things that you're seeing that you wish we small businesses would stop? What are you seeing that causes our failure? Either way you wish to answer both. What are some things that make us a success? Or what are some things, Ramon, if they would just stop these two things? However you want to answer.
Your question is so pertinent. So if you think about small businesses, 50% of small businesses fail in their first year. And 95% of them, small startups, fail within the first 5 years. So this is a pretty significant number. And why? The vast majority of small businesses that start don't think about any accounting software from the get-go, because that's not what they have in mind. And an entrepreneur doesn't start a business by saying, oh, I need to buy an accounting software. He has a passion, he has an idea, he wants to develop that. And in order for you to maximize your success and make sure that your life expectancy grows and continues to grow, you need an accounting software to really manage your business. That to me is essential. The second piece is an accountant. So as you're building your business, you have to think about someone who has a fresh set of eyes, who is outside of your operation, who can then help you really understand what the gaps are. So if I step back and look at how small business owners are operating, I would say cash flow is the number one problem. And an accounting software is going to help you really understand what money is, money in, money out, how I'm managing my cash flow, who's owning me the money, who's late, etc., etc. So you have a better way of tracking the performance of your business. Number two, moving from data to decisions. And sometimes that's where small business owners get into analysis paralysis, because they have a lot of numbers in front of them, but the question is, which one should I trust and which one should I leverage to make a decision? That's the reason why partnering with the accountant is going to help them really decipher the numbers and make sure that they're focusing on the right data and the right insight to make the right decision. And the last point I would make for a small business owner is, even if you're going through tough times right now, make sure that you're stepping back and making the difficult decisions sometimes. Is it about the size of the organization? Maybe that's the case. Is it about investing in something that you have to then, postpone because you're seeing that your cash flow is not there? Make those decisions. So be decisive, use the data to make the decision, and make sure that it is insightful enough that it's going to help you continue to grow. So make the right investment, leverage the data, use the solutions like Sage Solutions to really track the performance and then drive the business.
I love it. Let's play a game, Stone, a game.
Let's do it.
And I'm going to push back.
Yes.
But Mr. Stone, let me get an accountant as my sales grow. Let me get an accountant after I hire my 5th employee. Let me get an accountant a bit later. Macy's called me. I got to make 1,000 mugs first. The accountant, I can get them later. Accounting software, listen, for now, we're just going to enter into the bank, use Excel, whatever it is, we're cranking away. I'll come to you. I'll call 1-800-STONE later. Get my game. So what do you answer? What do you say to me? We're trying to build it. We're 3 girls in an apartment. We're going on Shark Tank tomorrow, Stone. You don't understand. I don't want to deal with that other stuff right now. What are you telling me?
I will tell them, always step back and look at this as of the opportunity and what are your risks. Because it's always about risk and opportunities. And if you see that you're growing too fast, for example, but you're not catching up with the growth, you need to slow down. Maybe you're going to have to make a difficult decision, which is, I'm not going to take this order because I can't deliver. So that's the reason why the accountant is essential, because he's going to be able to tell you, hey, I can see the numbers, you're growing, but your capacity cannot absorb this growth. So either you increase the investment to increase the capacity, or what you're going to have to do is kind of slow down to adjust your capacity with your growth rate. So when you are in the middle of your work and you're passionate about it, you're getting orders, you're getting phone calls, who's going to tell you those things? You can't, because you don't have the distance to make those decisions. That's why you need to partner with an accountant and have a data source, which is the accounting software that is going to be framed in a way that's going to provide you with those insights so you can make those decisions. Otherwise, you're going to put a lot of passion behind it, a lot of success, but sometimes short-term success might be long-term failure. And that's why you need that balance between your work and the accountant's work.
That's a tweet. I'm gonna have to make a T-shirt for you. Short-term success is a long-term, could be long-term failure. T-shirt to tweet it out. But Souza, this is Stone. This has been such a great discussion. I really appreciate your time. Again, everybody, we've been talking to Stone DeSouza, who heads small business at Sage, and I'm Ramon Ray, founder of Smart Hustle Media at smarthustle.com. Thanks for joining me for another exciting podcast and discussion all about accounting, about data, about today's type of accounting, about why small businesses need accounting and accounting solutions. And again, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, give us an uptick, give us a comment, give us a like, share this with somebody else, and you can find information like this always at smarthustle.com.